Nico Collins looking for a new deal, but he doesn't want out. He wants to be a Texan for life. Some players don't know what's good for him. Some players don't have the desire to go seek out better situations. But Nico is a pretty interesting case of I can survive with any quarterback situation to a degree. He's been very, very productive, very undervalued right now. 27 years old. People in Dynasty kind of staying clear of him. I'm not thinking he's got like 4 or 5 years left, but he's got a good 2 or 3 elite potential years, at least 2. And 2 is a long time. So Dynasty, great buy. Redraft, love him. He's fallen into the 3rd round. This is a guy that was lingering at the 1-2 turn, 12, 13, 14 overall. And he still deserves that consideration, to be honest. I'd never pay it. I'd never pay it. Because you don't have to. This is not even a player you have to draft in round 2, period. In fact, if you draft him in round 2, you don't know what in the hell you're doing. Because the ADP is telling you, you can draft me as your 3rd drafted player in round 3, and it's league winning. It truly is league winning. Nico, love the guy. We'll break down the contract situation. Tank Dell and also Malachi Fields and Chris Brazzell both looking pretty damn good right now. We've been a big Malachi Fields people. A lot of people tell us he's trash. He's too slow. We actually had him on the Moon Man list for about a month during the deep off season. And there's certainly a world where he gets put on the midseason monster list at least. Love Malachi Fields. One of my favorite receivers when you get beyond Casey Concepcion's. In fact, Malachi Fields could be better than a handful of players that are beyond the top 3. Top 3 being Tyson, Tate, and Casey Concepcion. We'll break it all down and more. The Fantasy Football Show Graveyard Edition. The live at midnight almost every single night edition. The draft edition. Underdog promo code Smitty. Hit the link that's pinned in the live chat. The link that's in the description of the video if you're watching a replay. And, you deposit, they'll match your first deposit 50% all the way up to $1,000 in credit. Play 5, get 50 in bonus entries. So let's get to it. Let's talk about this video drops tonight, tomorrow morning, about 4 a.m. Pacific time, 7 a.m. roughly Eastern. Tyson, a video on Tyson talking about his injury concerns and all that. So get ready for that. All right, let's hit the intro. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show.
Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news.
Graveyard stream.
Live whenever news breaks, ladies and gentlemen. And, we need to do something different here in the studio during graveyard shows, I think. What would be Ziggy, studio off.
The overhead light and front headlights seem offline.
Ziggy, studio off. There. I don't know. Do we go with a little like darker theme or Ziggy, studio on? Maybe we go with a little old potential. Little red hue, potentially. I don't know. Ziggy, studio off. Little red hue, a little bit to midnight magic, potentially. I don't know if you guys like this. Maybe we do this to kind of signify this is a graveyard stream. I can't even really see with these glasses on when I dim things, though. Ziggy, studio on. We'll figure it out. I think we need to do something a little different with the lighting potentially. I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. All right, let's talk about this Nico Collins situation. Super chats will be handled in order in which they're received. We'll open up phone lines in just a little bit, so hang tight for that. Nico Collins, according to this report right here, Texans wide receiver Nico Collins said he wants to play his whole career in Houston for the Texans. And this is kind of like a disappointing thing. Denny called like at 3 o'clock today, by the way. This is kind of a disappointing thing in some ways because he's under contract through 2027, which means he's playing this year and he's got one more year. And it's like sometimes we kind of think about like, wouldn't it be nice if this guy was maybe, somewhere else? What if he could go and play for a guy like Drake May? What if he could go play for Josh Allen? And he instead would like to play in a really, really kind of wild situation that probably won't be something lucrative to the extreme degree. Like he's still going to produce. He's going in the third round for a reason. We question his situation. His situation is, in fact, a little questionable. So it's understandable why he's going in the third round for some people. I think it's a steal. I think it bakes in all the risk whatsoever. If we look at the board here, go to the mock board, and plot this man on the board. Let's get rid of everyone on this thing, including Jeremiah Love's such a steal. Every time I see that, I get excited, and I don't know how to control myself or contain myself when I see Jeremiah Love's value there. It's just unbelievable. But Nico's not. I mean, actually, we could put Love back on screen. Nico and Love are a fantastic combination at the 2-3 turn. Every time you're sitting there and you got Nico, and even if it's a wide receiver approach, so let's do that one first. Rashee Rice and Nico Collins back to back, and then let's say because this is the back-to-back 2-3 turn, that means you've got the 1 overall pick. So that means your RB could be Jahmyr Gibbs. So this is one of the most dynamic wide receiver combinations with Gibbs that you can find. And if for any reason you don't want to go Rashee Rice here, you could go London, you could go Love, you could go RB, and still get Nico, still get BTJ and DK Metcalf in 6 and 7. Like that, who doesn't love that start? Let's go take a look at that, and then we'll fill in the gaps. But if you wanted to go running back, and then go Nico, you could take BTJ in 6. DK may or may not last in 7 for very long because of just the fact that Aaron Rodgers is coming back, and everyone's like, what's that mean? But this is a fantastic, formidable wide receiver 1, 2, and 3 with your running back 1 and 2, and then you get to 4, and you could go 100 different directions. You could take another running back here if you wanted, and have potentially a 3 running back situation. This is fantastic. Going Bucky in round 4. I love that. I'm all about that. That's a great team right there. In round 5, maybe you take your quarterback a little bit early. And I say that because some of these guys will fall, to 6, but you take JD5, you take a guy like Joe Burrow. Either one of these QBs in 5 would suffice. Drake May, you could even go wide receiver in 5 and then go potentially Drake May here in 6 because he falls in 6 all the time. But who's not winning a championship with this team right here? Who's not absolutely just basking in the glory of this team? This is unbelievable, Let's get this lighting back to where it was. We'll figure something out. I think we could cook up something, but something, maybe it's just dimming it down. Who likes it better in the graveyard if it's Ziggy, studio off? Ziggy, studio off. Nah, Ziggy, studio on. No, I don't know. I'm just trying to dim the mood a little bit. You know what I mean? It's a graveyard show. You could have the tombstones out or whatever. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Amber red is better. Maybe we'll look into that. This is a great start, though. And if we go with instead of Love, we take the Rashee Rice, put Rice back on the board. Who's not winning with this? This is great. Such a balanced team. Running back, wide receiver, running back. I love that. You don't like Bucky there? Then put Lamar here and Price here. This is just a great situation. But back to the point at hand here is that we're, ladies and gentlemen, we're looking at, again, this video drops in the morning. We're looking at such a steal. in the third round. That's the whole point. I didn't mean to go on a tangent on all these other players. We meant to really focus on this Nico Collins third round value, top of round 3. It's such an advantage. It's such a win a league move. It bakes in all the risk whatsoever. There's just no risk involved when you're talking about that territory. That is as baked in as it gets. Nico in round 3, he could literally go out, have 1,000 yards and 5 touchdowns and still get his 80 plus 85 receptions. It's not a very great year. It's like 1,100 even, 5 or 6 touchdowns, 85 receptions, and we're like, damn, Nico, you crapped the bed hard, and he earns you third round value. But he could go out and get you 1,300. He could go out and get you 14 scores. He could go out and get you 105 receptions. That's what he's capable of doing. He's one of the best values in the third round at the wide receiver position, period. It's near league winning. It truly is. This man, Tank Dell's counterpart, reports are that Texans Tank Dell knee is running, cutting, but not yet 100%. We've seen footage of him running and cutting like a mad dog months and months ago, so this is not new news, but this could kickstart a little bit of Tank Dell's value, who's down at the end of the rounds 16, 17, 18. Very much one of your last wide receivers drafted, and he deserves a little bit of a look because he definitely has the rapport with Stroud. And Stroud hasn't been the same since he lost him. So who knows? Maybe this kickstarts Stroud a little bit. It helps keep Nico in a place where Nico's got to be. And I don't think Dell's going to come back on a terror from his first game and take away from Nico. So this doesn't worry me. This makes me feel a little bit better about the opposing wide receiver situations that are going to draw defensive attention versus Nico just getting doubled constantly. So Tank Dell's presence is welcome back. Since we're on the topic of wide receivers tonight, I do want to talk about these gentlemen right here, one of which we've been super high on, in the offseason, even more so a little deeply, like before the landing spots. I admit the landing spot has made me not talk much about Malachi Fields since he landed in a place where he's 100% unable to grab the number 1 job from Neighbors. Like there's no chance. But Neighbors, what if he gets banged up? Neighbors is good, but why can't we have a T. Higgins potential player alongside of a Jamar Chase type player? Because Neighbors is Chase, Chase is Neighbors, Finkel is Einhorn, Einhorn's Finkel, Fields is maybe Higgins. And this is a kid that gets a lot of negative, like, oh, he's slow, and this particular testing Smith. This is a big dude, 6'4", monster. And he moves like a gazelle out there, and he looks fantastic in camp so far. Yeah, they're in shorts. I get it. I don't need you to tell me how to do my job. I'm just telling you what I feel and what I've felt pretty much the whole offseason leading into his landing spot, which, again, I admittedly have been a little quieter than I should be on field since he landed in New York. Probably just because we've got so many other players to talk about, and he's got a limiter. He's got a cap on how good he can be, but we got to reassess and say to ourselves, like, at some point, he can still be so good compared to his newfound ADP that has plummeted a little bit even more. People doubted him anyway, and this is a potential, I would say, like, I'm trying to think like a Zay Flowers type of scorer. I'm not saying Zay Flowers' his best year last year, but somebody that, like, you're putting in your wide receiver 3 spot on the regular, and the sky's the limit for him to a degree. I really think Malachi Fields is really him, and if he was in a different spot like New England, I'd be really, really quietly excited that he could be a team's, like, poor man's wide receiver 1, not the kind that fails, the kind that actually delivers and looks good and produces, and you say to yourself, like, this is just like Christian Watson, for example, for the Green Bay Packers. Christian Watson is a wide receiver 1. He's just a very low end, but he's definitely good enough to carry the wide receiver room. I think Fields would be the same kind of value, a guy that's going to pop off, have big games, finish wide receiver 15, 18, 17. But I'm not saying he'll for sure be that in New York. We got to see how Nagy is going to drag this whole offense down. But I like Fields a lot. Fields is fantastic. And anybody that has a dynasty pick in their upcoming rookie only draft, and you're scrambling for something, and you see Fields, and you're like, Smitty, just remember what I said about Fields. Fields is he's a potential sleeper, diamond in the rough. Love the kid. He's no Casey Concepcion. He's no Jordan Tyson. He's no Carnell Tate. Those are the top 3 wide receivers in this draft class by far. And tier break. But love me some Malachi Fields. Also, this guy, Brazzell, very, very Brazzell Dazzle. This guy's very, very good. And there's a lot of footage out right now of him and Malachi Fields running routes and just, they're in shorts. Again, everybody's got to pump the brakes to a degree. But the one thing that he's been talking about lately, and something people should know if you're going into this situation, is that he's been running routes, NFL routes, his entire college career. He says every route that the Panthers put him through, he has already run that route in college. He says he's very versed and ready to go. He's 6'4". Malachi Fields is 6'4". Brazzell's 6'4". These are the 2 big boys of this draft class. They really are. And if you're looking for a prototypical big boy to go out there and pull in footballs, jump ball situations, Brazzell and Malachi Fields are the 2 guys you want to look at and target. And Brazzell, he's got an arm span, just a ability to go grab a football with this radius of a small, a small like Escalade. Like this guy is just a I don't know. You could almost say like a BTJ type frame. If you're trying to picture him just running downfield, stretching out, go gadget arms. This is that guy. His hands are there. He's showing off good hands, just snatching footballs in situations where no one else would even touch it. And he's like grabbing it. He's doing a really good job. I like him a lot. This is a really, really good player. Ted Hurst, too. We like him a lot. Everybody could be talked up in this draft class after Casey Concepcion. So you got to be careful, to expect things from these guys, because their situations are the key determining factor of whether we'll see anything or not, and we can't control a lot of that stuff. So we just got to monitor as we go. But Brazzell, keep tabs on him. Keep tabs on Ted Hurst too. Keep tabs on Skylar Bell. Keep tabs on definitely Malachi Fields. Keep tabs on the wide receivers. Even a guy like Denzel Boston we'll keep tabs on for sure. Cooper Jr., he's in not the best spot now, but that could develop. There's a lot of wide receivers that we need to keep tabs on. Keep tabs on Makai Lemon. You keep hearing me talk about how he's not going to be as good as people think, but he's still a good wide receiver. He's still going to score and have good production. The problem is he going way too high to ever own him, because people are ridiculously thinking that he's going to be this wide receiver 1 there. Brazzell to the moon, maybe. Or to the space station. Let's not put him. We can't put everybody to the moon. To the stratosphere, okay? Brazzell just to the edge of where, space is kind of close by. You think you're in space, but you're not really. You're still in the atmosphere. That's where Brazzell goes to wait. That's where Malachi Fields goes to wait. That's where Ted Hurst goes to wait. And maybe we throw a little bit of Omar Cooper Jr. up in there. A little bit of Stowers. Throw Eli Stowers up in there, because Stowers could be the 4th or 5th best pass catcher out of all these rookie receivers and tight ends if you lump them together. I think there's a chance that Stowers becomes even more valuable than Makai Lemon. Doesn't mean that it'll happen. A lot depends on stuff that's out of our control. It's so early on, there's not a lot of predicting we can do. If we say one thing, we don't have enough information to lock it in. Like if I say that and then they don't run Eli Stowers out there with the ones ever, and they put Makai Lemon in it, then how is it going to happen? But very, very excited for this to play out. Phone lines will be open in a second. Let me handle these super chats. I got Rumble over here. Appreciate you. I got Vader. I got Shelly. I got Aldi. I got Hammer over on the Rumble side of the fence. Hit that like button on the way in the door. EA, off topic, but optimism about Surratt being Baltimore's power slot. A little bit. He's slow to me. I wasn't impressed as a prospect, but he could change my mind. I'm not going to write him off. Is Quinshawn plus a 27 and 28 first rounder too much for the 1.1? Nope. I surrender Judkins and those 2 first rounders in a millisecond. Unless you could guarantee me it's like 1.1 or 1.2, then I would probably say back off. But if you're not getting the 1.1 or 1.2, even if you said I guarantee you it's 4 and 5, like the 4th overall pick and the next year the 5th, no way. I'd rather have Jeremiah Love for sure. Thank you for the super chat. This one from Trust. Trust says, hey Smitty, if I give you my league ID, can you review my team? No. First of all, I don't pump other content or sites out there. I've got my own content that we run through. Number two, I can't be looking up teams and doing all, bro. You know how busy I am? I got a whole show I'm organizing. So if you paste your team in, I'll look at it, but I could care less about what another site has or what another site's telling you. I got a whole content engine, bro, called TheFantasyFootballShow.com. You think I have time to promote or talk about other brand? Look at this, bro. This is so much better than whatever the hell you're trying to promote. This is the thing. The player pages, the ADP, Smitty's value from ADP across the rankings on the site. You know how many hours and hours and hours of production goes into all this, bro? This is all you need. You don't need to go somewhere else and have me look at some other stupid website, my boy. I appreciate you, though. But post your team and I'll break it down. I'll take a look at it. Yo, Smitty, I play in a league where it's big points for punt and kick return yards. Who are some rookies in this draft you think that might have that role? We have to really wait, bro, until we know any of that. To jump into that, yeah, we're just like poking at the, we're just throwing mud at the wall. We just don't have much of a clue. In 2026 class, let me see if I can find this real quickly. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like Jadarian Price returned kicks, but like, will he in Seattle? It's hard to know. Branch, maybe, but we're really poking at stuff we have no clue about yet. I would say Branch and Price are two potential players that might have some action there, but we're just if you were to draft around it, it wouldn't be advisable right now. Sorry, bro, didn't mean to. Well, I know it's cool, but it's just like I'm not gonna go to another website, bro, and put it up on my screen. Like, what, crazy? What are you talking about? Not to mention, I don't visit other websites. I don't even care or even know who anybody is. I got my own thing. I've been creating content before most people were even sharding in their diapers. So I've got it all handled. It's all you need. I got into the business in 2002 because I couldn't find a single trade calculator or draft simulator or year-round rankings the way that we do it in the industry, period. Stock market, draft simulator, enter keepers, all that, lineup analyzer. That's already ready for week one. Trade calculator gives you so much detail. It's great. Look at this trade. You run this trade through the trade calculator. Let me just show you an example of how amazing this trade calculator is. Okay, you run this trade through the trade calculator. Let's say you run. This is what the site looks like. This is all that you get. Let's say you run this trade through the trade calculator. Yeah, so let's say you run a Jahmyr Gibbs and St. Brown and Drake for St. Brown and Drake London. It's going to say out of $200 auction dollars, which you can change to $1,000, you can change to $500, change to whatever it is. It says right here, $77 is what Gibbs is set at in auction dollars. And then it tells you that this combined side naturally combines for 106, but it says right here at the bottom, quality over quantity. You may have won this trade, but we recommend you rerun that using roster balance logic. And it says you're winning the trade by 27%. When you rerun the trade using roster balance logic, it ends up giving you this little number right here. Let me see if I can put this up. It reruns the trade and it sets the roster balance using different equation and algorithm for each scenario, but it's essentially adding a roster balance replacement here because it's not, if you do a 2-for-1, you're naturally going to be trying to tip the scale. You're using smoke and mirrors. It says right here, roster balance applied. As expected, this trade needed some quality over quantity perspective. However, because you still win the trade, even though the gap is closer via the logic, the trade is acceptable to execute. Use the additional advice on this page with confidence. It says right here, Jahmyr Gibbs is Smitty's top 5, one of Smitty's top 5 drafted players. This right here says great deal for you, except before they change your mind. This is if you needed to have those 2 wide receivers, but you need to consider all the different variables that go into a 2-for-1 trade. Do you have wide receivers on your bench? If you do, enter your entire team against the team you would have if you did the trade. You could also run that through the trade calculator to see what lineup is better using your own 2 trades, which could be another way to tackle this. But go check that out over on TheFantasyFootballShow.com. Do it live, do it live, do it live. And trust, you can put your team in the question and I'll analyze it. Did my first redraft Price went in the 4th round too early? Absolutely. He has no business being in the top of 5. Like, you don't even know what he's getting. We love Jadarian Price. Jadarian Price is a mother freaking moon man, bro. He's a mother freaking moon man.
Dropping loads and
as is Jonah Coleman. But there is a chance.
Space Monsters.
Let's put Coleman. Let's put Coleman's date that we added him. What was it? I don't know what day it was. 5/8. I don't know roughly, but give or take a day. But Coleman, Jadarian Price. There's a chance he doesn't even start. Week 1 essentially. Like, you can't be drafting him. It doesn't mean we don't think he's a league winner at 6th round ADP, but the 3rd or 4th is ridiculous. It doesn't account for any sort of risk whatsoever, and it's assuming he's starting. He's not necessarily starting. Rate my today's team: Allen, Manungai, Tootin, Dowdle, JSN, Rice. Rate my today's team. What the hell's a today's team, by the way? Andrews, Coleman, Johnson, QJ, Shaheed. Pretty difficult draft. Allen, Manungai, Tootin, Dowdle. I'm going to say right now, I love your receivers, but it's going to be hard to win a league, bro, that has just Manungai, Tootin, and Dowdle if you don't have like a JSN, a Rice, and another player like Rice, essentially in the 3rd wide receiver. I like DJ Moore a lot, but I don't know. I feel like this is a little thin. It's not bad. I think if you were to potentially have done a couple different things, it might have been my cup of tea. But I think that lack of running back approach you have there doesn't feel supported enough by the exterior pieces to make it worth doing. If you ever go 0 RB like you did, you have to really crush it. You have to have like Hendy and Jadarian Price or something, or Jadarian Price and Manungai, but then you have Rice, Nico, and JSN, and then you still have Josh Allen. Like, you almost have to, not to mention, I think my biggest advice for you, Scotty, is if you do a 0 RB, don't do an early quarterback with it. You do an early tight end, don't do an early quarterback and early tight end. If you do an early tight end, don't do a 0 RB with it. If you're going to do an extreme approach, make that the only extreme piece you do. Otherwise, you're just drowning at the running back position. That's why your team looks like it got kicked in the sack at the running back position, because you win early QB, which is fine, but then you also win 0 RB. So it makes it hard to climb back into the saddle, my boy. So appreciate you. All right. Hit me with it. Appreciate you. Anybody has anything else? Trust, I'm looking. This is my team. I don't see anything with this. I just see this is my team. I don't know what you're talking about, Trust. You have to give me the actual team, my boy. All right, phone lines are open. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
We're gonna get into a best ball draft here in a second. Underdog promo code Smitty. Let's get into a weekly winner. Do a weekly winner draft. 10 more to start. Weekly winner. Do it live. Weekly winner draft. Smash it. 10 more to start. Everybody has a chance to get in this one. Sometimes I click on it, says one more, and then it says starting, and I can't even have many join. But this one, 6 more to start. I don't want to hear a single complaint of, oh, dang, Smitty, I didn't get in. Can you do another one? 5 more to start. Like, this is the most we've had in a while that's available. 5 more to start. And pull up the board. Scotty Dew, long time no talk, pal. What can I do for you? You're live.
Sorry, I have a little cold right now, but yeah, man, how you been? It's been a while.
What's up, my boy?
Yeah, today's draft, I did my first redraft kind of early, but I had the itch to do one. It was a 12-man league, but I didn't expect the running backs to go flying off the board so quick in like the first 4 rounds. That's why I kind of got left with, Monongai and two, and I was like, well, they have potential, so I might as well just go with the upside at this point. But I mean, I do like my 2 receivers. I think Josh Allen and the 3 receivers can win me weeks. I believe, and then kind of
maybe, but I don't know. I think if you're, like I said, if you're gonna go early, I got the 1 pick. Sweet. I would definitely not go early QB and 0 RB. Like I said, trust me, bro. Don't do 2 extreme approaches at the same time. Early tight end's fine, but then draft balance. You got to make, because you'll be chasing the running back position and you'll never catch up. And honestly, bro, if something goes down, where you get an injury, you're even more screwed, bro. Even more screwed. All right, hold on 1 second, Scotty. Let me just merge this call real quick. Okay, it starts in 24 seconds. All right, hold on, Husseini. I'll be right with you. What, Scotty?
Do you think Kyle Pitts and Mark Andrews is fine to roll with for the season?
Who?
I think so.
Who? Mark Andrews and who?
Mark Andrews and Pitts and Kyle Pitts. Is that a
good
Pitt,
yeah.
Rolling?
I mean, I'm not sure about Mark Andrews, but I like Kyle Pitts. Sure, I think that's okay. I would just say draft balance, bro. Don't go crazy and do these crazy weird scenarios. If you're gonna go early quarterback, I'm fine with that. If you're gonna go early tight end, I'm fine with that. You're gonna go 0 RB. I mean, I never really like 0 RB, to be honest, bro. I don't think anybody's winning a huge contest going 0 RB. Hero RB, but it's not even so much that the approach wins the contest. Best player available wins the contest, and whatever the person ended up having, they ended up having. They don't go in with a design, stick to the design, and end up crushing every pick. You end up leaving meat on the bone when you say, I'm going to do hero. Like, the reason we do so many drafts is you need to get versed in every strategy. And quite honestly, I never, ever, ever, ever take an approach into a draft. Unless we say, hey, we're going to draft wide receiver here to show you guys how to try and do it. But I'll abort the mission if it doesn't, best player available doesn't look. But I could care less about strategy. You know why? Because I've practiced everything. It's like going down the court with the basketball. Are you going to just go, I'm going right-handed, start taking all my steps at the free throw line and do a right-handed finger roll off the backboard into the hoop? Or do you say, I'm going to see what happens as I'm dribbling down the court? Like, it's so stupid to me when people say, I'm going to go hero RB. Go hero RB if you're dribbling down the court and hero RB leads you to a hoop. Like, what in the hell are we doing? So practice everything. Don't set up your strategy before you draft, and let the board fall. Like, I don't know what I'm doing here at 12. If I was like, I'm going running back, then I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a non-ball knower. If I go, no matter what, I'm going wide receiver. I'm a non-ball knower. What I can tell you, though, is I've done so many drafts from the 12, from the 1, and the 2.12 and the 3.1 right here, that a lot of times it is wide receiver. But that's because I've done so many drafts, I can do it with my eyes closed, and I'm allowing the board to fall to me, and then I'm taking my strategy. No one should ever say, I'm going hero RB. What someone should say is, hey, damn, I just went hero RB on accident here because I was taking the best player available. Interesting. That's what you should say when you go hero RB. In retrospect, you went hero RB.
Well, I wasn't going in with any set strategy. I was
Rice at the 2.3. Sorry,
what?
Is Rice went 2.3? Oh, it's rock out. What are we doing? Go ahead. Go ahead, Scotty. I'm gonna put you on mute in a second, but go ahead, and then I'm gonna go over to Husseini.
I was drafting at the 6th spot, and JSN fell to 6.
Great pick.
That's why I grabbed him. Yeah, McCaffrey, Cook, Taylor on the board, but I didn't really feel like grabbing any of those guys.
I mean, JSN was beautifully placed for you. Like you that was a great pick. That was a great pick, bro. All right, man. Mute yourself real quickly. I'll be right with you. Husseini, you're live. I might cut you off in a second as I'm about to draft here, but go ahead, young man.
That's fine. I'll just call him because I'm at the 1.6.
Okay.
Is where I'm drafting.
Lamb and Love. I got you. Let's go, man. I love Bowers, and I'm gonna go, man. Nico. I should go Nico because he's the man of the hour. I'm gonna go Brock Bowers, and I'm gonna go Drake London. I should go Nico because he's the man of the hour, but I'm gonna abort and just say give me back. Like, look at this balance, Scotty. Gibbs, Bowers, London. I'm going early tight end, but I gave myself balance with it. And so I've got the 3 best picks I could have possibly probably. Well, there's a couple ties, London, Nico. But I mean, look at how balanced that is, bro. I've got no problems. I come around to the 4.12 and the 5.1. I'm not beholden to drafting RB. You know what happens when you go early wide receiver? When you got to your Monangai, and I love Monangai, it's a great pick. But when you got to those picks, you were drafting running back no matter what. And that puts you in a position where you're not taking maybe the best player available. You put yourself
you're right.
That's why balance is amazing. Okay, you're on the clock, Husseini, Lamb, Love, and who are you grabbing? Who'd you go with? Javante? Okay. Number 7, who's in the 7? Daniel's in the 7. Daniel says Smith, Henry, and who does he go right here? He grabs Kyron. Let me just read Trust team real quickly. Dak, Shuck, Bijan, JT, Achan, both CMC handcuffs. I like that. I like that as a standalone move, bro. And you did it, so it's good. JJ, Lamb, Neighbors. Unbelievable. Puka, what is this, bro? This is a 5-man league. What is this? Come on, man. What is this? What is this, bro? Is this one of those like bar sheets? You go into the bar, sports bar, and it's like check your favorite players and build any team you want. Like, what are we doing here? Bijan, JT, Achan, JJ, Lamb, Neighbors, and Puka. Like, what kind of in a coma group of 10 or the 7? This isn't even like a 6-man. This is like one of those odd 7 or 5-man leagues or grandma leagues. 5 grandma leagues. What are we doing here, bro? Trust, this is almost so good that, like, you're not going to get an attaboy from me or something. This is like taking advantage of people. What are we doing? How many people are in this? How many grandmas are in this league that are not in comas? Be honest with me, Trust. How many people? Don't say 12. You say 12. I'm closing this box and I'm not even going to address it anymore. I don't care if you super chat it or not. There's no way this is a 12-man league. Sorry. I'm not going to believe you. He's going to say 8. He's got to say 8. It's not 12. It's not 12. It's not 12, bro. Stop.
No way it's 12.
I'm closing it. There's no way.
No way.
Your league would have like collapsed by this point. It's just, come on, bro. Guy wants me to analyze this team. What do you want me to analyze? What do you want me to say? Oh, Achan's your weak link. Maybe you could upgrade him into Gibbs. I mean, try. Honestly, I'd try, but I mean, come on, bro. The only thing I can tell you to do with that team, JJ, Lamb, Neighbors, and Puka, like, what do we do? Why did you put Puka after Worthy, too? You should almost lose your Puka rights here to have Worthy, and then you list Puka after him. I don't know what in the hell that's about. I mean, the only thing I would tell you to do is try and turn JT, keep Achan, turn JT, and I don't know. I don't even know what to tell you to do, honestly. Like, what are you going to do? What can you possibly do? Turn JT and I don't know. There's nothing to do, bro. There's nothing to do. Like, you almost can't even upgrade that. All right, let's see here. On the clock. I hate taking Garrett Wilson here. I hate it. I'm going to take Adams here before I time out. And then I'm probably going to take... Jeez. I don't have a lot of Garrett Wilson. I'll just do it. London, Adams, Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson at 5 it feels okay. It doesn't feel like I'm going to cry myself to sleep tonight and go, why did I do? I could have had so and so. Like it feels really solid. If I wasn't in Snipe City, I'd have much different options that would have fallen to me at the 4-5 turn. Look at the reaches, Price, Burrow. Like Burrow never goes in the 4th round. Like this looks like a mock draft or something. It's wild. Bucky usually falls to like mid, but some of this is you guys are ball knowers, and some of it is when you get a group of ball knowers together that are all on the same the same stuff. It unfortunately rips and raptures all the meat off the bone and makes it a really, really tough looking. Like this looks like a very brutal draft. Like there's somebody looking at this like from afar coming into the stream for the first time is going to go, how in the hell are some of these guys going so high? It's because it just happens in a snipe zone. You get into round 5 and it feels like the top of 4. It's just unfortunately the way that the cookie crumbles. Number 6 is Husseini with Lamb, Love, Javonte, McConkey, Warren. Not bad. Number 7 is JSN, Henry, Kyron, Scat, and McLaurin. Not bad. JT, Barkley, Jacobs, Ted McMillan, JD5. Not going to win a league with Ted McMillan as your wide receiver 1 in a 3 start. Start 3 wide receivers. It's not going to happen. St. Brown, Hampton, Lamar, Flowers, Burden. That could be good. We'll see what happens with the rest of your team. Genty, Rice, Hall, Evans, Tootin. Like that team a lot. That's one of my probably top 4 or 5 teams. JJ, Walker, Olave, Bucky, Jamo. I think this is pretty good, and you get a pick right here. Okay, Tyson, nice. James Cook, Devon Chan, Buka, Higgins, Tate, and Chuba. Not bad. Not my favorite look, but not bad. McCaffrey, Allen, McBride. See, early quarterback and early tight end makes this team rough. Look at I love DJ Moore, but you can't win with DJ Moore as your number 1 and Monty as your number 5 drafted player. That's just it ends up being rough. You just go and double extreme strategies puts you in a real tough spot. Puka, Chase Brown, AJ Brown, Burrow, Loveland, pretty solid. Jamar Chase, Neighbors, ETN, Hendy, and Devontae Smith, not bad. Bijan, Pickens, Nico, Price, and May. I like that team a lot. Mine is Gibbs, Bowers, London, Adams, Wilson. I like it. It's not my favorite team I've ever drafted, but I think it's pretty damn even, or pretty damn balanced and nice looking. So pretty solid. On the clock, almost on the clock here. I don't know what I'm going to end up doing with this team here. Let's see here. I guess I have a plan. Hold on. I'll come to you in 1 second, bro. See what I can pull out of my bag of tricks here. Timeout. Alec Pierce. Timed out. I'm going to go with a little DK Metcalf action. So my receivers are looking really good. And then I think I don't want to get Husseini, don't get mad at me, bro. I don't even know if I'll last to you. But I'm going to go a little early Mahomes here because I can't wait all the way down and back. I'm sorry, Husseini. Who do you have anyway?
No, that's fine. I wasn't going to get him.
Mm-hmm. You might have, because everybody's got quarterbacks right back up to you. So I'm sorry. The only other person I wanted was maybe Herbert, but I love Mahomes so much this year. I know you do too. I think he's going to have a fantastic year. Scotty, what else you got? And Rumble, YouTube, any super chats will be handled in order in which they're received.
I have a couple questions on the Bears. Why is Burden ranked above Adunze? Didn't Adunze have a good solid beginning of the year? And don't you see him as a better receiver than Burden?
Why are you asking me that question? You're asking me like I did it.
Your opinion.
No, but you said, don't you see it? Like as if I did it. We talked about this several times this offseason. I know you haven't been here for all the shows. I can't blame you. You can't watch every waking hour of the show. We've talked about this a lot. There's a real world possibility that Odunze is better than Burden. 100% possible. 100% possible. And it's 100% possible that Burden could be better than Odunze. We went over this the other day. Odunze was a top 5 to 6 wide receiver through the first month of football. There was literally nobody but just a small handful that can fit on one hand of wide receivers that outplayed Odunze in the first month of football. He was glorious. He was fantastic. He was everything that we said he would be on this channel because we've been a huge Odunze people.
Right.
We hated his landing spot. I still don't love it because he's so crowded there. But Burden and Odunze, they had a very similar year, and they finished very similar, where they both were not really on fire at all. Especially in the 2 playoff games, they both had almost identical, like, mediocre stats. It's not like they finished on a tear. It's like, oh my God, look at his final game. Let's take that into the season. Like, Burden didn't have the greatest year, and so people are over expecting on Burden. I think that there's a potential, but when people start talking about him being the next St. Brown, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. He's never going to be St. Brown, but he's fantastic. I love him. We love Burden. Burden, you won't find anybody that really liked Burden more than I did as a prospect. When he landed on the Bears, I admittedly was worried about what exactly we saw in his rookie year, that he wouldn't be used. He wouldn't be used properly, wouldn't be used consistently, and we 100% called it right. But this is the wide receiver that Ben Johnson chose to be his version of the best St. Brown that he can be. If you want to just extrapolate, Detroit has this receiver and he's going to try and replicate. Like, I can understand what people try and use St. Brown as the barometer, but he's never going to be St. Brown. St. Brown is unbelievable. Burden is good. Odunze's better than Burden. He is. But is Burden in a better position because Ben Johnson handpicked him? You know what I'm saying? So it's a tough call. There's no real answer, to be honest. And we're all going to go in, I don't want to say batting blind, but we're all going to go in with a little bit of uncertainty to this situation. We don't know. Nobody could know. It's not easy to see coming. It's not easy to predict. Let's go ahead and I'm going to take Gadsden here. So I was going to time out. I know I already have Bowers, but I was going to time out. I didn't want to time out. I want to go.
I have one more question for you.
KC Concepcion here. We're really pushing it at RB. This is truly hero RB. What's your question?
So with the team, before I let you go, for the team that drafted today, I know it was weak running back, but with the 3 receivers, DJ Moore, JSN, and Rice, and Allen, do you think that's good enough to get me through week by week until Manungai and Tootin kind of show their stripes, kind of get the workload?
I already said I don't think that team can win. I think the team could do good. I think if you redid it with a little bit different approach and keep trying, then there's a ton of options to try and implement with one strategy. For example, this strategy, if I was to continue to rinse and repeat this from the one spot, I would just alter it a little bit here and there. Maybe I went too heavy wide receiver here. We'll find out at the end. And then just say to myself, okay, instead of Gadsden or instead of Mahomes, I could have waited and got, let's see. I could have got, I couldn't have got Herbert because he went. I'm glad I did go Mahomes. That was actually a good move. But let's say, could I have went instead of Gadsden and KC Concepcion, could I have taken Blake Corum and Tony Pollard? It's just using the examples that are on the board. You could try that strategy out. There's nothing wrong with that. So with what you did, I don't hate your approach. But I don't think anyone's winning a league, a big, huge, major contest where you're going up against hundreds of thousands of people or whatever amount of people are in a draft, and you have literally no RBs, and you have a guy like Manungai who we love, who can be a league winner, but you don't know when that switch is going to get flipped, bro. You got to take him in his place. That's when I talk about a guy like Manungai. I talk about a guy like Price, and then we have people that take him too early, like. No offense to this pick here, but Jadarian Price, you hear me speak about him winning leagues, and then you take him in the 4th round where you can't even what are you going to do when he doesn't start week 1? You're going to blame me when I literally told you he might not start week 1. This is a guy that's going to come in and hit a home run. You have to be careful. You have to be careful. People are overdrafting so many of these players just because they hear me tell you that they're league winners if the right situation plays out. So you just have to be. You're not winning with that running back. Let me pull up your team one more time. Maybe
I make a trade and try to sell one of these top receivers for a
if
top
it's
running
not best
back?
ball, then sure.
Redraft. It's just redraft.
Okay. Tootin Monunga. I mean, I love Tootin Monunga. I do love him. JSN, Rice, DJ Moore. If this team had another, like I said in the beginning, if it had another Rice instead of DJ Moore, and I love DJ Moore. I just did a video on DJ Moore. But if you had, like, let's say another like Nico or something, then I look at it entirely different. I think to myself that was DJ Moore, who I love, worth you going continuously down this road of wide receivers and not going and addressing the QB or the running back position. If you were to make a trade, I would probably say maybe you trade I don't know. This is a tough one. Maybe you trade could you trade JSN down to a player like
James Cook, a first-round pick, or a Taylor, maybe?
Like a Pickens or a Neighbors. See, look where JSN's up here, right? He's up in this top 5 or 6. Okay. What if you were to trade down to like a Neighbors, a Pickens, and you gain an extra, monster running back upgrade for your team at least? And maybe you got to throw in something. Maybe you got to throw in whatever. So you're going to have to look at that. You snipers, bro. Absolute sniping maniacs.
What?
Just like taking Jonah Coleman so high, your boy's trying to accumulate. Let me see. I'm gonna time out here if I'm not careful. I timed out on my cue Pacheco, but I Pacheco and Gibbs, which is really, really like safe running back 1 for me. And I'm gonna cuff Worthy to Mahomes. I'm just going to continue to pile drive the wide receiver position, which I think I
wanted Worthy.
pretty done set on having receivers. I don't think I need to draft another single receiver, but this team is straight fire. Who's in that? Who's taking all these players early? The spot, bro. You got to be careful. Who is that? Who's the one in the 2 spot that's literally you're just taking the show players and taking them like rounds early? Like, you got to be careful. Like Drake May goes in like 6 or 7 or whatever. Price goes in 5 or 6. Let's see here. Jonah Coleman, I get it. Like, I would have probably taken him, so I understand that one. But you got to be careful not to just do all this reaching consistently, or you could potentially leave yourself with less talent than you should have. Cam Ward, I like that selection. I think he's good. I don't know, bro. Try looking at that, trading JSN into a Pickens and running back, and maybe you could turn Monungai or Tootin into a bigger Walker type monster. Try and see if you can come out with 2 round 2 players, or a high round 3 and round 2 player. Like a Pickens or a London or a Nico with a Walker or a running back of that variety using JSN. That would be what I would probably do if I was you.
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you for your advice, Smitty.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Later. Call back
too, man.
Another one.
Okay.
Husseini, you like your team so far? You got Lamb, Love, Javonte, Lad McConkey, Tyler Warren, Marvin Harrison, Parker Washington, Dowdle, Pollard, Downs, and Ward. I like it.
Yeah, I like it. I didn't expect to draft a QB so late, but I like Cam Ward.
It's fun. Yeah. It's fun to go late quarterback, though, once in a while when you haven't, because you don't get to enjoy the, stacking of positions the same way if you go early QB. So, I mean, you're building a team you would never have normally built. Sometimes in Snipeville, it's fun to go in a different direction,
Yeah. Yeah, I stacking the RBs and wide receivers. Let's see, going to reach a little bit, but I have to get another.
I like a Conquo. I think a Conquo is going to be a boss, bro.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him play with JD5. Be real nice because a lot of people are sleeping on him.
Yes, sir. I love a Conquo. He's gonna be really good. He's gonna be pretty good. All right, on deck here. Man, this is tough sledding. I'm kind of needing to take some stabs at RB, and this one it's not even early. He's actually pretty much right around that territory, but I like it. I feel like it's not bad. I'm going to go Jacoby Brissett here to make sure I have a backup quarterback that I'm comfortable with. But Keaton Mitchell to me has Gibbs is my one. Pacheco is cuffed to Gibbs, so no matter what, I'm covered in one of my running back spots. And in some occasions, if I even have, let's say, Mitchell doesn't see the field from week 6 on for whatever reason, I have Pacheco who's going to score 5, 6, 7 points a game. So it's a nice little approach for Hero RB. Hero RB in some ways is such a fun approach if it all falls right, because you get a combo like that. If you're number one running back, which is let's say you do Hero RB with Jeremiah Love and you get Algier. That could be your Hero RB. You could go wide receiver. You could go Jamar Chase and then Love, and then wide receiver, quarterback, wide receiver, whatever, and go Hero RB with Love being your Hero RB from round 2. As long as you have that situation where there's a bona fide stud and then there's a really competent backup, you could almost, especially if the competent backup's going to get some work, you could almost expect the 2 running backs to roll, for you most weeks as the 2 starting running backs. I'm not saying it's the best situation known to man. You're certainly going to want to grab Jonah Coleman's. You're going to want to have as many Monungais, Jonah Coleman's players as you can, Keaton Mitchell's, but it is still something that can definitely be very, very lucrative. Look at Bijan and Algier last year. If you had Bijan and Algier as your running back 1 and 2 in a Hero RB approach, and you just had as many Monungais as possible, you were cooking, and Algier was delivering. Considering the context that the rest of your team was stacked better because of that approach, you know what I mean? Like, no one should be excited about starting last year Algier as your running back 2, but if someone did approach Hero RB that way, they had a better wide receiver 3 and 2 and tight end and quarterback than they would have, and so it compensates. No one should be going, my goal is to get an Algier as my running back 2. My goal is to have Pacheco as my running back 2. Hell no. But if you are beefing up every other part, that is a whole different story. We got a $20 super chat from Worldwide who wants his video played. He does. He says, play it, Smitty. This is everybody's favorite video anyway. Okay, thank you, Wes. I'll read that in a second. Let me just see what I can grab here. Damn it. I hate doing this so early. Well, no, he's not early. He's right there. He's a second-ranked running back. I went Emmett Johnson. Sorry. I know you love your Chiefs, bro. Let's go. Fine, let's go. Let's go Sean Tucker. He gives me some touchdown production. What round are we in? It's 15, so 16, 17. 3 more picks? Okay. All right, Worldwide West says, just finished my 5-man keeper draft, 1 QB, super flex, and 3 flex spots. Hurts, Genty, Achane, AJB, DJ Moore. What are you drafting in Trust's draft or whatever? What was it, Trust? What was it? Was that who it was? Yeah, Trust. Were you in his league? You and him taking over the Grandma League together? What are we doing? 5-man keeper or 5-man league? What are we doing? Hurts, Genty, HN, AJB, DJ Moore, Bucky, Evans, Tyson, Brissett, Naylor. You crush it, bro. You crush it. That team is phenomenal. Phenomenal squad. What do I recommend you even do? I honestly, not much, because I don't want to trade any of those players. And the guys that we would maybe be tempted in trading, maybe selling high on DJ Moore, and I still like DJ Moore a lot. Like, you're not going to get what you deserve out of it. Selling Brissett and trying to upgrade him, you're not going to get what you deserve out of it. I love Coleman. I love Claiborne on the bench. The only thing I can even think of, bro, honestly, is go to the Bucky owner, see if there's some sort of. Oh no, you have Bucky, right? You have Bucky. Jeez, try and get Gainwell then. Washington, Claiborne, Stroud, Okonkwo. Probably wouldn't try and move Coleman, honestly. I'd rather have Coleman than Kenny Gainwell. I don't know that there's much you can really do, to be honest. Your super flex is Brissett. That's awesome. You could maybe consider keep an eye on Beck in case you just need the duo. But that's quite a team, bro. It's quite a team. I like it a lot. It's fantastic. I'd say like a 8.9, only leaving room for trade and opportunity. 8.8 to 8.9. It's a great team. I give out very few 9s. Hosseini, what else is going on?
Well, I want to see if I can grab these last two players and cuff them. These two quarterbacks. Not the greatest room, but at least something. So all I have is Jones and Bryce Young for quarterback.
You're cutting in and out a little bit. So you've got Ward, Jones, and Bryce Young. I don't hate it because I like Ward a lot, but let's see if I like your team and if I think it's something that ended up being a good move to go late quarterback. Lamb, Love, Javonte, McConkey, Tyler Warren, Marv, P. Wash, Dowdle, Pollard. I think where I believe you may have made a mistake is I would have probably taken Herbert instead of P. Wash. I love P. Wash and all, but that's probably where I would have, is Parker Washington really, like, he's good, but is he worth not having a top 6 potential quarterback? I would say no. I'd say you definitely didn't need him as much as you needed Herbert. That's the only place I think you maybe have messed up a little bit. But I don't hate it. Good team, bro.
I drafted hoping that I can now draft simple panics. Cuffed them.
Yeah.
Not the greatest, but.
All right, let's see here. Do I go? Let's go Kalen Black. And I'm gonna go Vidal. So I got Vidal and Mitchell. So that was kind of nice, right? I got Pacheco and Gibbs. I mean, my running back stable is certainly going to be in question. There's no doubt about it. But that's the allure of this strategy. My receivers are off the hook. I've got London, Adams, Garrett Wilson, DK Metcalf, KC Concepcion, and Xavier Worthy. My running back 1 is the best in the business, in my opinion, and Jahmyr Gibbs. Bowers, I think I have the best tight end in the business. And then I have a top 5 or 6 QB in Mahomes. I have Gadsden, one of the better backups in this draft. So really, all it comes down to is, will I win this league if I don't have a home run with my running back 2? Probably not. Or will I win? Will I win even big money in this contest, this huge contest? This is not just, will I make it out of this group of 12 to make the first round of the playoffs? I think I still could, even if I don't have huge consistency for my RB. But once I get into the playoffs, I better have Keaton Mitchell or Vidal in the works. I better have, Tucker scoring touchdowns on the regular. I need something to happen, or I probably won't advance far. But that's the price I pay by beefing up everything but my running back too, and that's the fun gamble. That's the treasure hunt of this particular build, and you got to be okay with that. You know, some people I used to do draft calls with people, bro, and the draft calls, you know, people would say, hey, you know, I'll purchase a draft call. You sit with me for on the phone or Zoom or whatever for an hour straight. I do 59 minutes or whatever. Even if you draft one 1 hour and a half, someone have to buy like 2 draft calls in order to, because like sitting there for like 2 hours is rough. Plus I have to go from one draft to the next. I can't do it anymore. I just don't have time. But they were fun. But a lot of the time I get on the phone with somebody and they'd be like, bro, what do you want to do? And they'd essentially be like, you want to get crazy? And I'm like, can you handle it? Like, are you a high anxiety, anxiety Angus type of person? Like, no, bro, whatever you tell me. I'm like, I don't want to do what I want to do. I want to do what you want to do. And I want to help you, not draft for you. I want this to be your team. They're like, whatever. And they'd always be like, let's go crazy. And we create some sort of build that best player available took us down, where you'd have like this amazing team, but like a weak running back too, but a bunch of potential guys like this, right? And they wouldn't be able to handle it. By the end of the draft, they're like, cool, man. They get off the phone, and then a week or two later, they would email me and be like, I couldn't handle it. And they traded away their entire team, and they made it so much worse just to balance the scales at RB2. They destroyed their wide receiver 1. They destroyed their QB 1. They destroyed their running back 1, whatever. And they have more balance of trash. And I'd always scratch my head. Like, sometimes this potential strategy isn't for everybody. Like, if you don't have and find fun and value in the building and treasure hunting of your RB2 in a way that Manungai saved you. Manungai and Luther Burden took one of my best ball teams straight as far as any of the other ones went. Like, those are 2 guys that I treasure hunted last year, and they were saviors. That's the part of fun, the fun of this, that you just gotta enjoy that part of this, or you'll be a disaster. You'll be a wreck the entire time. You won't even be able to, to think or function. You'll just want to trade out of it. Like, some people just cannot have the imbalance. Like, you got to make sure you're doing something that works for you. This is a little bit risky for me, but this is part of what the strategy is. So I got Jordan James and Kalen Black. I've got Vidal and Keaton Mitchell. Emmett Johnson's just a wild card. Sean Tucker's I think he just gets like 5 to 10 points a game or whatever. And that could be something that fills in. And I got Pacheco and Gibbs. So this is a unique running back room. I didn't leave myself much of but the thing also to understand is this is weekly winners too. If anybody is forgetting they're watching a weekly winner draft, I don't necessarily care. Like, I'm going to draft a backup. So I drafted a backup quarterback. But there's no this particular team, and I might even mention this myself when I was like, you make the playoffs. This doesn't have playoffs. This particular draft doesn't have playoffs. It's every week is independent from the next. Week 1 is the same thing as week 14. It's a fresh, go. Everybody's at 0. Who scores the most points? And boom, that person wins $20K. Week 2 has nothing to do with week 1. Week 5 has nothing to do with week 4. Week 4 has nothing to do with week 14. Week 17 is not a playoff week, so I might have even spoke when I was talking about it earlier. There's no playoffs in this one. There's no getting out of the group and going into the first round of the playoffs. I think I was more so explaining, like, if you had built a team like this, what it would look like. Husseini, call back if you want. What it would look like if you built a team like this that was in a different contest. But this particular contest, the even more reason why Hero RB is amazing is because if Gibbs goes crazy and Pacheco comes along for the ride, there's my running back 1 and 2 in this particular week where I win $20K. Mitchell, James, Vidal, Kalen Black, Sean Tucker, Emmett Johnson. This team, all it has to do is come together 1 week, get first place out of the 200,000 people that enter, and I win $20K. Every week you have a chance at $20K, clean slate, no carryover of points. This is what weekly winners is. That's what weekly winners is about. So it's such a fun draft, and it makes those gambles a little bit more understandable and acceptable. Husseini, dial back in if you want, pal. I don't know if your phone just cut out or whatever. Any other super chats that need to be handled? What should we do for Dynasty? Any of my usual Dynasty people in the building? I don't know if Hammer or Luis or anybody else is in here. If you guys got a topic you want to discuss on Dynasty, hit me up. Do it live. Here to try and tackle the topics that you guys want the most. So if anybody's got a Dynasty topic, throw it out there, and we'll come right back on the Dynasty stream. Thank you for drafting with me. If anybody wants to draft next time, Underdog promo code Smitty. Underdog will match your first deposit 50% all the way up to $1,000. Just use that link that's pinned in the live chat. Use the link that's in the description if you're watching a replay. And don't forget tomorrow morning, bright and early, like 4 a.m. West Coast time, 7 a.m. roughly. Might even be earlier, but 7 a.m. Eastern a.m. The Jordan Tyson video drops. The everyone was wrong. Do I have the graphic anywhere? Let me see if I have the graphic. I think I have it right here. I'll have to find it. Everyone was wrong about Jordan Tyson. And why is everybody wrong about Jordan Tyson? Your boy breaks it down. Your boy breaks it down. And we do it live. And we need a Tyson video. 100%. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sleeping at the wheel. I'm so busy, and I've been, handling everything. My ADP over on TheFantasyFootballShow.com is so crazy, bro. It's such a good. I've been tweaking it and just fixing it. There's been some things that needed some fixing, but if you go over to my TheFantasyFootballShow.com and you click on rankings and you click on ADP, this is what you get when you get over there. I'm just going to show you a couple of screenshots real quickly because it is glorious, man. It is fantastic. It is just a freaking a world of knowledge and cheat codes everywhere. Here's a screenshot of what the ADP rankings. Let me just say it this way: the ADP rankings alone are probably worth the cost of entry on the year. They really are. Here's what the ADP. So look at all the rankings that I have on the site. You got redraft. You've got, let me just make this so you can see me a little bit. You got redraft, you got dynasty, you got superflex redraft, you got superflex dynasty, rookie, super rookie, which are the sophomores and rookies only. Weekly ADP, upside board, caution board. And then this is the ADP, as you can see, ADP selected. They're updated year round. Today's the 10th. I've updated them today. Every day. They're year round fantasy football rankings. But this is ADP rankings. So Bijan's 1.1 ADP. Gibbs 1.1, Jamar Chase 1.3, Puka Nacua 1.4, JSM 1.5, et cetera, right? Here is right here in this column, Smitty versus ADP, -1 on Bijan, +1 on Gibbs. That means Gibbs is my 1, Bijan's my 2. The difference on that, it says right here, quiet noise, not a factor, not a concern, 4% difference in the grand scheme of value. It doesn't in terms of capital leap, which is my own formulas, equations, and ways to break down the capital difference, the differential. Jamar Chase, I have as the 3. There's a 0 move there. Puka Nacua, -1, 4% quiet noise. JSN, +1. I'm +1 on JSN, 4% quiet noise. But there's also this particular aspect of it. See these right here, good value and bad value filters. If you were to click on, let's say, the good value filter, you would get this right here. And this is where these rankings become so extremely valuable. Right here is where you basically could, this is kind of like if you were wanting to know who my favorite sleepers are based on my rankings compared to ADP, which is a safeguard and safe check against what I'm really thinking. And sometimes I look at it and I say, damn, why does Chase Brown have a red 30% potential reach label on it? And I'm like, I don't feel that way about Chase Brown. I don't feel like Chase Brown's a risk. But according to my rankings, compared to ADP, I do. There's a reason I'm slightly hesitant of taking Chase Brown, let's say in round 2, is because of the potential pitfalls of skipping over those players that are still there, like Jeremiah Love, players I love more, wide receivers. And it does coincide with what I'm really thinking. So if you look at, this is the top, if you want to know who my biggest sleepers are, you go to my ADP, you click on good value, sorts by high number to low. Drake May, which matches my content, and I haven't even tweaked this. This is just going off my rankings. Drake May, 49% huge value, plus 35 picks in ADP I disagree with. Jeremiah Love, 11 pick difference in terms of my value, 46% of a huge value on the draft capital leap. Jaden Daniels, 30 picks. And again, you can see the 11 picks is stronger than the 30 picks because of the formula in consideration of where he's climbing. Climbing 11 spots in the first 2 rounds is better than climbing 30 picks in, from like round 6 or 5 to 4. It's just a different value. So this considers everything. There's so much detail behind this. Jadarian Price, plus 25 picks, 43%. Bashal Tootin, plus 26, 43%. And then so on and so on. And then the same thing with the bad predictions and everything. It is unbelievable. TheFantasyFootballShow.com. It's the only place you need to go to understand what to do, when to do it, how to do it. And then probably my favorite feature, period, is they're on every player page. If you go to, let's say, Devontae Adams' player page, and I got to do it. Let me do a new screenshot of this because the values and such have changed. But if I go to the player pages, let's go to, I'm going to go to a different player. I'm going to go to, let's see, Derrick Henry. And we go to Derrick Henry's cross position value chart. And I'm going to screenshot that and put that on screen here. So basically on every player page, there's a trade generator tool. And that trade generator tool is called the cross position value chart. And the cross position value chart essentially doesn't allow you to compare the player to their position. I won't even allow it in here. See how I have Derrick Henry's player page, so he's highlighted automatically. There's no running back category because the whole point of this tool is to have you comparing a cross position for a trade. So the concept here is you select redraft, and you can go QB, wide receiver, tight end category, and it tells you the players above and below and slots him right where he is with 6 players above, 6 players below, and it minimizes to just 3 players, but reduce it to 6 players if you want to make it shorter. But AJ Brown, Nico Collins, George Pickens, Drake May, what a great tool, right? You're sitting here going, I want to trade Henry. Well, what do you trade him for? Go to the cross position value chart, and you just say AJ Brown, Nico, Pickens. These seem reasonable. $42 in auction dollars versus $47. I don't have to give that much up to get George Pickens. Now, this is redraft, so if you go to Dynasty, values will be different, right? But this is redraft, so you're not going to give up a pick. But if this was a different player in Dynasty, you could say, well, what pick could I give up? Maybe a second rounder can move this, but this is a redraft take. Ibuka, you could trade down to Buka. And the point of this is you say, I like Buka a little bit more quietly, so I could get maybe something else if I did this. You could trade down to Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, Ted McMillan, and so on. So this is all on TheFantasyFootballShow.com, so check it out. You won't be sorry. We're going to get on over to the Dynasty channel. We got one more super chat from Rockout. Rockout says, bad draft, fumbled, took a calculated risk. A calculated risk, I think Rockout means. And let me go see Rockout's team real quickly and see what he's talking about, calculated risk. Rockout drafted from what draft slot did you draft from, Rockout? You were in the 12, 11, 10. So you were in this Drake Baker Mayfield slot. Let me just pull this up real quickly. So you had Genty, Rice, Hall, Evans, Tootin, Kraft, Wilson, Lawrence. I like your team. I think that was a good team. I think you did okay. I think that's pretty intriguing. And this is, remember, this is weekly winners. So Trevor, Lawrence, and Baker. And this goes for Husseini. Husseini, call back in if you're there. Real quickly, if you're there. Husseini, this goes for you too, bro. Like Cam Ward, you may not like Cam Ward on 17 weeks, but in weekly winners, Cam Ward will deliver big games. And so that's all you need to happen, and then you can beef up, the rest of this team like you did and afford to take that risk. Just like in a weekly winner, I'm not banking on these running backs to carry me through 14 weeks to be the best team so I could advance to the playoffs. I'm saying every week I get a shot at these wide receivers aligning with Gibbs, aligning with Bowers, aligning with Mahomes. And maybe Mahomes gets better as the year goes on, so my greater chance of winning 20K any individual week. And that is it. It's a week clear. Every week it's his own league. It's a 1-week league for 17 weeks. And maybe my chances are week 8 on when Mahomes is a little more healthy. But man, do I have a great chance if I even get any of these RBs to step up. So weekly winners is just a different monster. You know, like Jordan James and Kalen Black, if McCaffrey goes down at any point, even if he goes down in week 15, week 16 and 17, I got a real big chance of scoring some big points. And that's all that matters because there's no playoffs whatsoever. So it's a fun approach. You don't like Chase Brown? I never said I don't like Chase Brown. I never once said I don't like Chase Brown. I in fact said the opposite. I said how much I love Chase Brown, and I was shocked that my ranking wasn't in line with the ADP, so much so, even though I love him, that it's coming off as a risk factor. And you got to look at why. Like, why is that? Why, if I can't rise him any higher and ADP is higher than I am, then it's saying something. That data is saying that there's a risk level there clearly that we're not, fully or I'm not fully considering. Not that I need to change the ranking to make it not say that. I'm saying maybe there's more to me not drafting Chase Brown. And then when you reflect upon it, I don't draft a lot of Chase Brown at all. And that doesn't mean I don't love him, but there's just better value on the board every time Chase Brown is there. That's what it is. That's all it is. My ranking is, I still think, pretty respectable, but it's not on par with ADP, and that's sending an alarm bell on my tool. And it's like surprising to me. I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, that's kind of wild. I don't feel that way about Chase Brown, but my tool is telling me I do. And I could argue with it, but I can't. Because it's literally telling me how far off I am on ADP. And it's not crazy far off. Like, let me see if I can pull it up real quickly. And it might have even changed slightly to like not crazy bad value. But it says Chase Brown. Let's see where it is. Again, it's not crazy. Chase Brown. Like, it even says I'm lower on Hendy, which is, it's just 6 spots, but on ADP, I love Hendy. Okay, Chase Brown might have updated with the new ADP. It says it's a decent reach because I'm 7 spots different than ADP on Chase Brown. He's going at 2.7, and I love him in the top of 3. But that's kind of the way I've been with Chase Brown for the last 2 years. I love him, but I want to make him my 3rd drafted player, and I tend to wait for Chase Brown to fall there in a draft or 2 where he does. That's really what it's about. All right, guys, see you on the Dynasty channel in T-minus 5 minutes. The Dynasty channel, you know what to do. Link's in the description, but I'll drop the link right now to the Dynasty channel. Make sure you're subscribed and ready to go. Here's the link right here. Smash that. I got another super chat here, I think, from PJ. PJ says, go back to the draft board real quick. PJ says, rank my squad from the 7 handcuffs to stacks. So in a weekly winner contest from the 7 spot, you've got JSN, you got Henry, and again, Henry in weeklies is fine, bro. It's not risky because even if he gets hurt in week 10, you got weeks 1 through 9. Not considering a bye week, but weeks 1 through 9 where you could win 20K if Henry's on his game. Or if Henry's hurt from weeks 4 to 10, well, weeks 11, you kick back into gear. That's what's so great about weekly winners is it doesn't matter. Your whole team could be suspended for 15 straight weeks. In week 17 and 16, you can win 20K in each of those weeks. Kyron Williams, I like him in weeklies a lot more than I like him in non-weeklies. Scatterboo, same thing. Injury risk. You could draft an all-injury team. Injury-riddled team. Christian McCaffrey's much better value. See how McCaffrey going at 5 instead of going a little later? It's because you have a chance of winning a league. You have a chance of winning 20K. If McCaffrey plays like a monster for 5 weeks, then gets injured in week 6 and is out for the year, this guy right here in this spot's going to get the value for the 4 or 5 weeks that he's playing. And that's why that trio is really good. McCaffrey, Allen, and McBride in a weekly winner contest is going to give this team a tremendous amount of value. I don't think the rest of the team was drafted very well, to be honest, but boy, are those 3 picks fantastic weeklies teams. So from the 7 spot, I think you did good. Henry, Kyron, Scadaboo, McLaurin. So JSN, McLaurin, Adunze, Sutton, Pearsall, love it. Goddard, Hurts, really good team. Your team easily, I've seen teams like this win weekly winners 20K in a single given week. 100% capable with that team, bro. Not saying it's my favorite team I've ever seen, but is that the kind of team that we see win weekly winners, a 20K prize? Absolutely. You know, all they got to do is fire off at the same time. That's the nature of what we're talking about. So great job, bro. Very, very good team. All right, we'll see you over on the Dynasty channel in 5 minutes. Appreciate every single one of you.